104.com.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's the show, y'all. Kenny's Corner. Ha Kenny's Corner. Hey, this is what we do. Hit it. Woo. Y'all don't know about that. This is the show. This is the show. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kenny from Kenny's Corner. How you guys doing out there in radio, TV, YouTube, Facebook land? Man, we got two barn-burning topics. But you know, I always like to say, I like to give all my titles out. You know, I'm a minister, I'm a comedian, I'm an activist. I'll get out there in the community. I do it all. And well, but you know what I say? I can't control what happens on the corners of New York, D.C., Baltimore, or Chicago. But I can always control what happens right here on Kenny's Corner. All right. I got a special guest with me, Mr. Cole Goodman. Cole Goodman is politically connected. If somebody's saying something right, Cole ain't got no problem saying what is wrong with what he said. I love that about him. He's a straight up guy. He is what they talk about in the Bible by letting your yes be your yes and your no be your no. His mother's like that, his father's like that, and he is like that. Cole Goodman, welcome to the show.
It is so great to be here with you on Kenny's Corner. I tune into Kenny's Corner quite a bit. So it is an honor to be here. And thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, you know, we always have a couple topics, you know, before we get right into the
let's go.
The meat and the meat of things.
Yeah. No,
but Cole is also, I believe it's a soccer coach, right?
I am one of the soccer coaches at John Harris.
Cole is one of the soccer coaches. Hey, go Cougars.
Go Cougars.
One of the soccer coaches at John Harris. And I love them Cougars. Y'all know, if you don't know who the Cougars are, we used to say, we are, who are we? The mighty Cougars. Yes, indeed. Come on now. Yeah, boy, I love them Cougars, man. So, there has been some schools in this area and other areas that has been plagued recently with something called hazing. Middletown hazing has reached the ears of CNN.
Real? I didn't even know.
Yes.
Oh my God.
My goodness. They called it sexual hazing of some sort. Don't understand that. You know, when I was in high school, our hazing was when it rained in August, the first big rain, we would push the underclassmen in the mud. That was it. They got dirty. But now, sexual hazing? Come on, y'all. Say it ain't so. Now, Cole, you're a coach. You up at Harrisburg High School. We got some issues. Other than hazing, there has been a cry for supplies, water, Gatorade, things of that nature. First of all, are those things still needed?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, they're still needed. And if I could say, you know, at John Harris, under the leadership of Athletic Director Cal Everett,
yes,
we have a culture at John Harris where not only do we do not condone hazing of any sort, but also making sure that every kid and child feels uplifted and doesn't feel that they have to go through such a barbaric practice to either get on a team or to feel welcomed in that community.
Or or accept it.
Accept it. Yeah. And it starts at the top. And it starts at the top with what the culture and the tone that is set. So that's why I'm really thankful to be a part of like the John Harris athletic department and establishment, because the tone and the culture right off the bat is we don't accept any of that type of sort. And we're going to find other ways to make your kids feel that they're a part of a team and that they are welcomed and appreciated.
So what you're saying is Harrisburg High got it right.
Yes. Yes, that is exactly point blank.
I like that. I said. And they had a great addition with Damone Maxwell as the head basketball coach.
Yes.
Whom I love. Oh, he is my man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Damone on the show. But this hazing is getting out of control. I think it was not Mechanicsburg, but Mecklenburg or something. They had it. But my question is, when these hazings take effect, when these hazings take effect, should the program be shut down? Because this is what they're talking about, shutting down the season of the Middletown football program.
Yeah, and they did.
Yeah. But I know they were also wrestling and flip-flopping with it, because if it's 12 of them, or 10 of them, or 8 of them, should the other 30 not have a football season? If the star running back is on his way to Alabama and he's not even involved in this, his season's over. They can't come look at him play to see if he is a fit for a big university. Is that fair? Do you think the program should shut down?
Well, let me first start by saying I do not envy being on that school board, because that is like, that's an incredibly tough decision. I think we can like all agree that, something needed to be done, some sort of punishment, and not just punishment, but, Middletown, some type of discipline, Middletown, saying that, we do not stand for this. Now, is it fair for the rest of the kids to miss out on a whole season because of the actions of a few? I'm as you said, I say what I said. I don't know. I don't know that answer. I wasn't in the room on the decision-making period. Also, we have to remember that we don't have all the facts as well.
We don't have all the facts. But now Teresa says, let the innocent ones play and move up guys from the JV and freshmen. Hey, that's a great opportunity for younger kids that never got to play varsity yet to get a chance to play varsity. If you want to act in this behavior as a senior or junior, and there's no she said even expelled, guilty ones have to be expelled. That was sexual predatory behavior.
Absolutely.
So if that is the case, if it was sexual predatory behavior, it shouldn't be a cancellation of the team. Because if that's the case, here's the slippery slope. The world is sexual predatory behavior. You don't shut down the government when it happens. You don't shut down PennDOT when it happens. You don't shut down the church when it happens at all. So why does the program have to be shut? Why can't they just be dealt with? Expelled, charges met. Why? So yeah, that school board has a lot to think about, but I don't think canceling their football season, the school season, is.
Well, if I may just say, my heart really does go out to the kids who aren't going to be able to play.
Right.
And also we have to realize that this shutting down of the season doesn't just affect the kids that are on the field playing football. This also affects the kids who were trying out for cheerleading, the kids who were in the band. There's a whole osmosis around our culture and activities around a football program. So my heart really goes out to the kids who weren't involved, who weren't doing anything wrong, but especially the seniors missing out on a football season.
Yes.
And anyone, wherever you fall on this issue,
yeah,
everyone should be in agreement that our hearts go out to those kids that they're about to miss their football season.
I don't care about whatever them other jokers did. Listen, you get what you get. But Teresa said, what about the detective's son that gets to play at Steel High? He transferred, and now he's playing at Steel High. First of all, is that legal? Or do they have an agreement that if you're in that whole area, you can play either school? I don't understand that.
Well, that's the point I was going to bring up. I remember a few years back when Steel High wanted to do collaborations with Middletown, and Middletown was vehemently against the collaboration with Steel High. Now, let's just be honest about what that is. That is many people, not all, but many people not wanting minority kids coming into their school districts. And that's just a fact. I've heard it on the ground. But now it's interesting that we're in this predicament.
And it's okay.
And it's okay. The flip is okay, which I hope everyone watching will sit and think about that, because we see that all the time. Our minority schools and predominantly minority schools don't get the best of the best.
Right.
But then when the situation is flipped and someone wants to come to the flip in this, as Teresa correct said, that now the quarterback's going to Steel High.
Bam.
Come on now.
They said he wasn't. He's one of the innocent ones. He was one of the innocent ones. And this is why I'm saying you shouldn't have to abandon the season for people that wasn't around. You just shouldn't do it. But those who were the aggressors, see you, buddy. Time to go.
Yeah.
It's time to go. See you later. You know, good. Thank you for the years you played here. Goodbye.
Right.
It's done. It's over. Let's keep going. You know, expel. Boop, boop, boop. You know, we ain't standing for that. But to cancel the whole season, I got my buddy Keith Lehman. He's on the line watching now. I don't know where Keith falls in on this hazing, but I do know Keith feels like football, like I feel like football. Let those guys who did all that sexual predatory hazing, whatever that is, let them go, and you keep that season rolling.
Can I ask you a question, Mr.
Sure.
Mr. Kenny? So how do we?
What was my number in high school? Number 77, Kenny Rao, defensive tackle. That one you weren't going to ask it? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You weren't going to ask
that? Was my next question. Okay, that was my next question. I was getting there. Don't worry. My question to you though is, how does Middletown, and not just Middletown, schools that do have these hazing traditions, how do we access the rot from the fruit? So like you can expel the kids that did wrong this time, but this is obviously something in the culture, in the fabric of it, the Middletown athletic departments, that has been going on for a while. This couldn't have just started this year.
This is when Teresa sees, when she starts saying like, expel them, let them know, let those ninth graders know, hey, you remember the class of 2022? Yeah, they all got gone. That's how I got so much playing time. You understand? That's when that culture starts to change. Because they said, I'll be dog if I get to be my senior year. I ain't getting involved in none of that.
Right.
You have to lay the hammer down. If my mother, when I was raised, my mother and my father, they didn't play. There was no second chances.
Right.
You know what I mean? There was no, if you do that one more time, then no. You did it the first time. Now I got to do something the first time. And that slowed me up and started making me think, do I really want that kind of heat coming down on my backside? You know, she says, where was the supervision? Well, the coach did get fired, right?
Fired or resigned? I can't remember.
I think he
it's
got
one of
fired.
the two. I don't want to say misinformation.
I think he was trying to be neutral. I wasn't really there.
Mm.
See you, buddy, because that is the culture. Yeah. But so now I always have to give the phone number out: 717-889-7181, 717-889-7181. If you have any questions or comments about this hazing, feel free to call in. We're going to transition to the meat of the subject.
Mm.
The question is, why are people so upset for the hate? I mean, for the student loans being forgiven? Why? Not all the student loans, not the entire, but why? A couple amounts here and there. You fit a criteria, but why? I think one of the rules is if you, it's like during the pandemic, if you paid on time or whatever every month on your student loan during the pandemic, I think in March of next year, you're able to claim it and get all that money back. And they said, well, that's not fair. Well, first of all, who's paying the student loans that regular? I mean, them people need to be rewarded. Because my student, anyway, we ain't gonna talk about mine. Mine need to be forgiven and forgotten.
Forgotten.
You know what I mean? And the reason why I say mine should be forgotten, well, I forgot them.
Mm.
So Cole.
Yeah.
Do you agree that some of these Republicans they have a point, right? They got a point that why should we pay for these student loans? They got a point, right?
No, I don't. I don't think they have a point. I'm actually like really sick and tired of whenever something comes forward in this country that like moderately helps the working class and the middle class, people just lose their minds, absolutely lose their minds. Remember, the average student loan payment that Americans and young and older Americans are enduring is $30,000. So this is a modest help and dent in a lot of people's student loan debt.
Yes.
So when I hear people saying, oh, I have paid all of my student loans, so they should have to too. All I know is I don't get off on the suffering of others. It just that I think as a society and as a community, we should be celebrating that people are being able to have some of their student debt forgiven so they can put food on the table, so they can feed themselves, so they can afford rent and afford car payments. This is a great step. Not one bone of my body is at all upset that, because I have student debt, I paid student debt,
Right.
but I'm not upset that maybe someone out there, not maybe, someone out there had their student loan forgiven or this really helped them.
Well,
and they're in a better off place. So I don't think the Republicans have a point, and they do this every time. When something comes up that moderately helps the working class, it's the worst. But let's not talk about the PPP loans that the rich took out during the COVID crisis.
Woo. Now, before we get in there,
all right, sorry, I was getting going. My bad.
No, before we get to there, Dave Smith says it should have been across the board, not income level dependent.
Oh, no argument there. I don't think anyone should have student debt.
Hey, brother.
I really don't.
Ain't got no argument with us, man.
Not one.
Shub said, talk about how it's an upsurge. Oh, what did Shub say? Of pervert being. Oh, he's talking about the football. Yes, Shub, it is an upsurge. this is going on everywhere now. The sexual hazing and all this, that's going on everywhere. So thanks, Shub.
And definitely shout out to Shub. I see Shub a lot on community shows and such, and does a lot in the community. So definitely shout out to Shub.
Yeah. Rashana Ked, I paid my student loans for 7 months in 2020 and 21. I did it because a mortgage officer said I should. I already filed. Okay, good. Already filed and asked for my money back and got it already. Listen, when you do the right thing, it will happen. I can't say that. I paid a couple dollars. I paid a couple dollars. You know what I mean? I'm like, you know how black people is. You know, when that get too high, I put a little something on it. You know? I pay student loan like I pay my gas bill. Can I get an arrangement?
Hey.
Oh my goodness.
Hey.
What's up, Ernest? Yeah, Dave said they say that the average taxpayer is going to pay $200,000 per person. 2,000. Oh, that's what it said. 2,000 per person, whether they got the money or not. I know you didn't mean 200,000, but you know what? I can't say this. The pushback. The Republicans and the Democrats have always been pushing back on each other's points and agenda since they even made up this whole thing. I don't know what it was, but anyway, my point is, it's the hypocrisy. It's the hypocrisy. How are you upset? How are you upset because someone gets $10,000 forgiven, $20,000 forgiven? How? And then say, well, who has to pay for that? What comes out of the taxpayers pay? It comes out of the taxpayer. Well, why should the taxpayer be paying for somebody's student loans? That's a good question. But here's my rebuttal question. Why does taxpayer have to pay for the war in Ukraine? Why does taxpayers have to build a wall? Why have taxpayers have to put money in the space program? Why don't you put the money in the homelessness?
That's a great point.
We got enough money. If we can send, let me tell you something. The Republicans got trillions of dollars in tax breaks already. They ain't ever talking about that. They're not talking about what Cole was alluding to of the PPP loans. They're not talking about that. Cole, them PPP loans. What they getting back from them? What they doing?
Look, I just really want to, if I could pivot and to one thing that you were saying. This warrants the question, that exact question of, am I going to be paying for this as a taxpayer? The question is, yes, you are. Yes, I am. Yes, Kenny is. Yes, Pastor Chris is. Like that. Yes, we are. But this is what community should be about. It should be about paying for things and contributing to the betterment of society. I didn't hear people asking who's going to pay for this, as you said, even though I do agree that we need to support Ukraine, but I didn't hear the question of who's going to pay for the millions upon millions of dollars spending packages that we spent to Ukraine. I don't hear when millionaires and billionaires get tax breaks. I don't hear people saying in an uproar about that.
Right. Keith said PPP money was used to pay utilities and payroll for businesses that stayed open during COVID. Yes, Keith. And Keith, I believe that was a good idea. I am not upset about that. But people like Carol Miller, She from the PP loan got $3.1 million. Matt Gazy, $4.3 million. Vernon Buchanan, $2.8 million. Greg Pence, $79,000.
All people in Congress. So it begs the question, are they working for themselves or are they working for us?
Right. So Keith, for the working man, for the sport, let me make it personal, Keith. For you, Keith, it was a great thing and it needed to be done. I'm telling you, Keith. But there are people on both sides of the coin that has taken advantage of this. And so, Carol Miller, why are you fussing? Because somebody wants to give somebody $10,000 or $20,000 to erase some debt, and you just got free $3.1 million. Come on. It can't be, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. Rashana said, PA has some of the highest in state tuition rates. Penn State is like $16,000 a year. University of Florida is only $6,000. Now that's interesting. So why is tuition so high? That's a good question. Why is tuition so high? People can mark up whatever when it's not regulated or having any control. You can charge whatever you want. Dave said, "Why ain't it free? Period. Why ain't education free? Period."
Now we're talking. People having to pay over $100,000, $200,000 to get an education in this country, which is stressed at an early age in our culture, that if you don't get that, you're going to be a failure. So that's a hypocrisy in itself. You need to get an education. You need to go postgraduate, which also is a fallacy because we have wonderful trade schools. We have wonderful tech schools.
But they're trying to close them down.
But when you do get that education and you leave saddled with lifetime debt, then you're the problem for getting a student loan of $20,000-$30,000. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. And it's infuriating. And I'm ticked off. I'm really ticked off with the people out there that are just like, oh gosh.
My friend Dave.
Oh my gosh.
This is my friend Dave. I love Dave. Dave, you my man, boy. Dave defended his party. Dave said, as far as I know, the PPE money was not based on any political affiliation. Stop talking about this from that political point. Dave, I'm not saying it wasn't, Dave. I'm just saying all the Republican pushback is just that they made a whole lot of money off of it. That's all I'm saying, brother.
Democrats did too.
And I'm not saying the Democrats didn't, Dave.
Yeah, I'm a Democrat.
I don't want to offend you, Dave. You my man, 50 grand, brother. But you know what? So now they're saying that the people who need it, and this is where people get upset. First of all, if you were in the city, if you're in state, and the Pell Grant, got a Pell Grant up to $20,000. If you weren't, it's like $10,000. But if you make over $125,000 a year, you don't qualify. Now, this is the interesting thing. I don't know if everybody's been paying attention to what kids make when they come out of college, but it ain't 125,000. It ain't 70,000. Hold on. It ain't even 60,000. So that number is big that they're gonna pay out. Because ain't nobody making $125,000 out of college. Nobody. And so I think this is where the issue is. And this is the loophole of Biden to get it all for everybody, because he knows they're not making $125,000. No one's really coming out of college and after 2 or 3 years after being in college making $125,000. It happens, but not really. Not really. Who else? What did they say? Oh yeah, that's key. Okay, so with that being said, Cole, because the number is going to be so great, because we don't have a whole lot of people making $125,000 in their first, second, third year out of school. So is that number too great? That's a lot of money. We're talking about almost every college student. That's a lot of money. So you think it should be that? I mean, should we modify that?
I just want to make sure I'm understanding your question. Could you repeat the question? I'm sorry. I just want to make sure.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. They said if you make $125,000 or more, you don't qualify.
Mm-hmm.
But who makes $125,000 coming out of college?
I don't know anyone. I know that my friends that coming out of college, there are some that are like just living above the poverty
with a
line.
botany degree.
I mean, come on.
Comes out with a photography degree.
Photography.
$125,000.
Yeah.
So if that a liberal arts is not making $125,000,
right.
So what I'm saying is, everybody's going to qualify. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they broke it down with the Pell Grant and all this and all that, but nah. Once he put that $125,000 or more, you don't get it. All he said was, "I'm just gonna throw a number out there because everybody gonna get it now."
Which is like, see, if I may, if I could take a sec, because I'll be honest here. I'm not the biggest rah President Biden fan. I'm really not.
Who's sleepy time?
What?
Oh, sleepy time.
Look, I respect the president. I voted for him. I'll continue to support our president, but like, he's not my favorite. I personally was a Bernie supporter. But I will say this. This is like the first time in a long time that I've lived in this country where I actually see and believe that the government can do good for working class people. Because $125,000, if you're above that, like, let's just be honest, you're fine. You're fine.
You've been out of school 20 years.
Yeah, 20, and you're fine. This is legislation that will help the average American that is struggling. And I think everyone being able to qualify is like music to my ears.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
I absolutely love it.
So
and I got to give kudos to President Biden. I really, really do. I've disagreed with him on past, things that he's done, but this is a campaign promise, and you don't see this a lot of times in politics these days.
Yeah.
A campaign promise made and a campaign promise kept.
Well, Bernie Sanders wanted everybody to go to school for free.
Oh, I love Bernie. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I like Bernie to an extent. Bernie had a lot of great ideas. Bernie had no clue how he was gonna get paid for it, but he had some great ideas. I was cool with Bernie. I was all right with you, Bernie. But again, I think not to get off the subject, but I think there should be a cutoff age of the age of being a president of the United States of America. Let me tell you something. If I have to retire from the machine shop because it's too dangerous, because I'm getting too old at 65, why are we letting people run to be the most powerful person in the free world at 80? What 80-year-old wants to sit around in meetings? I'm sorry. Look at this. You ever see Bernie after them press conferences? He can't wait to get out that door. He's 80. 80 what? 2, 6, 103? He's old. Do you have that much confidence? I ain't got that much confidence in my grandfather at 80 years old to run the country.
But you know why Bernie is racing to get out that door? Because
all of them.
Right, racing to get out that door to actually work for us. And Kenny, you know what Bernie's motto was actually in the presidential election? His motto was not me, us.
I understand
and that is what we need to get
Bernie,
to.
Trump, all them cats, they too old. I'm sorry. They are too old. They're stuck in a regime, but they're too old. The president is the only job that you can be 80 years old and start the career. Come on. This doesn't make sense.
Well, can we, okay. I hear your point. I definitely,
I got good points.
You do have good points and I hear them. But let me offer up something else to you. Is it just that they're old by age wise, or is it that their ideas are old? Like what are we fighting that is really old? Some of these people are living in an archaic past of the 70s and want to make America great again. Okay. Listen to that verbiage clearly. When
he's like the only one, he's the only one that said it. There's a whole lot of people
absolutely
that believed it and did it.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. I don't go with that one. Old is old.
I hear you. I hear you.
Well, but they said, Dave, you're hilarious, Dave. They said, could this be a political play to get the poor folk to vote Democrat? He said, it was so funny. He said, so far I understand, your age does not mean anything as far as wisdom and Dave, stop. David, stop. Come on, Dave. We ain't talking about somebody 60. You guys are 80 and 85 years old, man. Why do you want 80 and 85-year-old men at the button? I don't want that. I don't want my 85-year-old grandfather to run quarterback for my family. I'm sorry. What 85-year-old man has the stamina to go through all the meetings? Get up at 3 a.m. So when they call Bernie for an emergency or Biden for an emergency or Trump for emergency at 3 a.m, come on, man, them guys ain't trying to get up. But they get up, they put the front on, they can't wait to lay down. I bet you take more naps. I bet you they take more naps than you can imagine. They old. Get them out of there. Bring back the bombers, the 47s. You can have wisdom at 47. You can have wisdom at 52.
Well, yeah, but we're seeing some of our younger politicians who are just as ignorant and stupid. You have your Ron DeSantis's in Florida. Mm-hmm. You have your Doug Mastrianos who are running in this state. And in this state, they're not 80 years old.
They're not 80 years old.
But they need to go too.
But guess what? I mean, if they win, then they can go on and start. I want to run for the presidency. Because I'm already 60-something years old now. 70.
So that's my exact point.
Gotta go.
Is it just the age as being their age, or is it the archaicness and age of their ideas and what they're trying to spout?
Both.
At both. Okay.
Cut them off. Listen, your brother, you can't come. Listen, how old are you? I'm 65. Time for you to retire. Okay, let's go. Keep it moving.
Who's 65?
None of them jokers. That's what I'm trying to say. The age of retirement is 65.
Right.
The government, sorry, let me back up. Because David, you'll appreciate this. The military will push you on out after you hit a certain age. But who's over the military can be 82 years old. Come on, y'all.
You age out as judges in Pennsylvania at 75.
Come on, y'all. Come on. Yeah. I know y'all think I'm saying something real crazy. Tressa said, should not be too. Oh, what did it say? What did she say? Let Biden get COVID. Somebody said let Biden get COVID.
Well, I'm glad he got better. I really am.
So judges should be old too. No. Should not be old. No, they shouldn't. Younger isn't always better. No, younger isn't always better. I'm not saying younger as in 24, but come on, man. I don't want somebody 85 years old running this country. I'm sorry. And whether we want to say it or not, whether they Republican or Democrat, they grew up under a system that we were not privy to be a part of when they were growing up. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's Biden, Trump. You 80-something years old, you benefited from being who you are in your 20s, in your 30s, and in your 40s. You did a lot and you got a lot. You shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be there. That's just my opinion. Dave Smith, he said, just have the presidents, what? Just have the presidents have to an annual physical. An annual physical?
And the results made public.
Oh, and the results made public. Yes, Dave.
Yeah.
But even if they had a good bill of health, you still got to get out the military with a good bill of health. I don't care about your heart, your blood pressure is good. I don't care about that. You're going to time out eventually. God's going to time you out.
But look at this. We have an over the age of 80 president who passed one of the most helpful and life-changing pieces of legislation, probably since Obamacare, in this student loan forgiveness. So I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but if you're, I believe our government needs a mix. We need young people in government. We need people who are 40, 50, 60, even 70. We need them. Look at our US Senate. It's like an AARP conference.
I'll tell you, boy, they right in the nursing home.
Yeah, so like I advocate, and this is just my opinion, for a mix of all ages, all creeds, all races, all backgrounds,
you
to represent us as we are as a country of a mix of all
because you
different
can't
type of
get rid of the wisdom. I'm not saying get rid of the wisdom, but you know what I mean? You need that mix. I like that point. You need that mix. They said, I just want to know what you will be saying when I'm 75. Dave, I can tell you what I ain't going to be doing. I ain't going to be running around 97 meetings, getting on the Air Force One, can't go up the steps. I tell you what, tripping over my own feet. Nah, bro, I ain't going to be doing that at 75. I hope to be sitting back. Most members of Congress are millionaires, Republican or Democrat.
Mhm.
Let me tell you something. The system benefits. Listen, the Republicans and Democrats are on the same team. I'm sorry. Those guys up there, they all friends. They all golf at the same country club. They all have their Bloody Marys. They're the same. You bet some ball. No, that's going to be more hard on the people. But if it gets passed, guess what? The Democrats, they benefit. They're all the same team. They're all the same team. I'm sorry. But the fight is down here locally. That's what we got to fight. We can make a difference down here. We got Sonia. We got the judge on the line, which is good. I'm glad she's on the line. I love that we got
Auntie Sonia, how you
yes,
doing?
I'm glad we got a young judge that ain't taking no mess for nobody. I like that about you, Sonia. You keep going, Sonia, but if I ever get in trouble in your district, you hook me up.
I love you. You're so funny. She is a great judge, though. She's a really a great judge, and just such a great person. Actually, if you want interesting, my first internship in high school was under Judge McKnight at Representative Tim Holden's office. If you guys remember Congressman Tim Holden, I was a 16-year-old student, and Judge McKnight took me under her wing, and just is such a great role model and great.
Well, I just think when we got the whole country talking about these loans, who got what, why this person gets this, I think in a lot of ways it's kind of hypocritical. You can't benefit from the government on this end when you are the recipient, and then look down on it when someone else benefits. One of the things you said, Cole, that I just, on a serious note, is that it is time for the working class people to get something. And I don't want to hear, well, you got welfare, you got Section 8, I'm talking about the working class people that is out here struggling 2 jobs, 3 jobs to make ends meet. It's time for them to get a break. It's just time. What did it say? They said, so you want Sonya to So favoritism. There you crazy. They said term limits would be solve the political problem for the Congress. Yes, Dave. Term limits. I believe in that. Term limits. Term limits would be it. And it should be a limit. And don't make it 80. Just don't make it 80. I don't know. My grandfather's passed on. My grandfather passed on, so he was 82 years old. I didn't want him running. None of the country. That'd be nothing. Country. You know what I mean? Is your grandparents still with you, Cole? You're a little younger than me, you know.
Unfortunately, my grandparents actually passed away in the recent couple years.
I'm sorry.
But I know my Grammy and my Papa Gene, in their age, they were sitting back and enjoying the rest of their lives.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
So yeah.
Why are you 80 years old running around Congress? Come on, man. You done made more than $1 million. Come on. Can we just relax? Can we just relax? Term limits. I like that, Dave. Dave, thank you for your input. Your inputs have been great, Dave. Dave, you've been spot on, Dave, but you've been funny too, man. And we're going to talk about this at the Breakfast Bible Study. I just want y'all to know that the men, we have a Breakfast Bible Study every Wednesday at the Peachtree, 10 o'clock in the morning, where we talk about the Bible, talk about what's going on in the world, and then we just then we let Dave go ahead and tell us about how good the Republicans are. Julian B. Adams, you said no, Julian. What are you saying no to? We've had so many conversations. What are you actually saying no to? Are you saying no, there shouldn't be term limits? I don't understand what the no is. If you can just type that in there and tell me what it is. I really didn't get the number out a whole lot tonight. 717-889-7181. That's 889 or 717-889-7181. If you can call in, that would be nice. But we are rolling right along. Cole is dynamite, fantastic. He stands up for the Democrat. He stands up for the Democrats.
Oh, not the Democrats. I'm standing up for people.
He's standing
up for people.
Well, I tell you,
it's people before politics.
Cole will be the mayor one time. Cole will be the mayor.
I'm just trying to coach soccer. I'm just trying to.
He's how old he is. I'm gonna be the mayor. He's gonna be the mayor. He's gonna be the mayor one day. Watch, guys. I'm telling you. I'm about the people. I love it. Cole, my man. You got my vote, Cole.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you got my vote.
I appreciate that. And come on out to a soccer game this year.
Hold on.
I'm inviting you.
Where the buck stops, buddy.
Go Cougars.
I'm not. But when, you do know, Cole, when people talk about the Cougars, they ain't talking about the soccer team.
Oh, I know. And what's great is that my boys, show up and show out and represent Harrisburg to the best of their abilities everywhere they play.
They're doing well. They won more than one game.
Well, actually last year, so that was my first year coaching. Mm-hmm. We prior to that, Harrisburg hadn't won a soccer game in over a decade.
Yeah, I know.
We almost went to playoffs last year. So
kudos.
We are looking to make playoffs for the first time for Harrisburg, and we're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it.
I believe in my boys for sure.
Well, okay. So when y'all make the playoffs, let me know.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
I see y'all, man. I can't watch that. I don't understand. Ain't no hitting. Ain't nobody tackling nobody.
Yeah, we are. Oh my gosh, it's one of the most physical sports. Well, we'll get you on a soccer field.
You ain't got nobody going across the middle of me knocking that helmet clean off there.
I need to get you to a soccer game. It is one of the most physical sports around. So
he said, Dr. Reynolds said, so judges should be old. No, judges shouldn't be old, man. Let me tell you something. When you have a judge who has a pulse on the community, not only for the older folks, but even for the younger folks, you need all of that. What's this Don say? I played for the soccer team. Oh, right, Don. That's why they didn't score nothing. Anyway.
Dang, Ken, how are you going to do someone like that?
That's why they didn't score nothing, dog. Don was too afraid to play soccer. I don't care what nobody said. get her nails dirty. Dawn, I don't get it. I don't know, Dawn. I don't know about that, Dawn. I mean, I know you played, Dawn, but I don't know. I don't know what you was doing out there. But I think a judge should always have their pulse on the community.
Yeah.
I think I think the judge should be able to be in the community, walk down the street, see what's going on. I think a judge should be able to decipher what a lie is, not only from the people that are in trouble, but for the people that are prosecuting them. Because there's lies on both parts. You understand? There's lies on both, because the prosecutor wants to lie to get his case through. Because the more people he sends in jail, the more his rep is. And of course, people won't lie to get out of trouble. But since it is more common that people lie to get out of trouble, they don't always get the same benefit of the doubt. And if you have an old judge who has that old regime, that old mindset, sometimes it's not always fair in that courtroom. I don't care what the evidence is presented. Sometimes it's just not fair. Yeah. So that's what I think. Dawn says lies and deceits. Dawn, you funny. Oh, yeah. But who don't want to judge? Dave, who don't want to judge a show favoritism on a traffic ticket? So I ain't talking about nothing major. Because we've had some major things hit our community this week. Prayers go out to the young lady that has been raped and molested since she was 5 years old to the age of 16. Prayers go out to her family. Yeah. You know, we always talk about people who are the pillars of the community, but she's a victim. And prayers need to go out. I don't like to call people's name on public right here because, first of all, it's close to my heart because of my friend. But those who've been listening to Penn Live and seen everything, y'all know what I'm talking about. But my prayers goes out to his family. My prayer goes out to the victim. And then my prayer goes out to him as far as at least seek some forgiveness and solace within himself. You understand? So everyone needs forgiveness, no matter what they've done. It may be a hard pill to swallow, but if the roles were reversed, you would want somebody to forgive you. So, like I said, a little close to my heart on this one. That was he's my man, 50 grand. But wrong is wrong. Right is right. Let your yes be a yes. Let your no be your no. You know, so however it plays out, I agree with whatever it says. Whatever it says. So let me tell y'all something. This show has been a great show. Cole is spitfire. But this show just goes too fast. Chris, don't this show go too fast?
Yes, sir. Fastest show in the evening, brother.
This show is like 4 minutes. 4 minutes. I put out a questionnaire about what you all want to talk about. So in this last 4 minutes, I'm going to pick one. And the topic I'm going to pick is, why don't our cops walk the beat anymore? Why don't they? Is it because the times are different? Or are we different? See, times don't have to change. We change. We get softer, softer, softer. And when I say that is the things that my parents had to endure, I couldn't endure. But the things I've endured, my daughter can't endure. You know, it just it's how it is. But why don't they walk the beat no more, y'all? Come on, America. 717-889-7181. Are they walking the beat in your neighborhood? Harrisburg needs mounted police. Rashana, we used to have mounted police. I seen them handcuff somebody out on 14th Street and walk them all the way to the police station.
Mm.
They had to walk and try to follow them strides of the horse to the police station. That was hilarious. Okay. Julian said, I walked when I was on. Julian, you know what? There was a time when I don't know who the mayor was at that time. Maybe it was Linda Thompson, maybe it was Reed. I don't know. But there was a time where our police officers walked the beat. Dawn said everyone has changed. Yes, Dawn, everyone has changed. And sometimes even as Christians, as the body of Christ have changed. They're not as, well, I get myself in trouble in church, but they're not as faithful or diligent as they should be. Mm. And so we have changed. Definitely the church has changed. Definitely the church has changed. And when the church changed, the world changed. So, but we should walk the beat. Our cops should walk the beat. How do you get to know your cops?
And
Go ahead, brother.
I just want to give just a little shout out. We do in the city of Harrisburg have community resource police officers, and they are community liaisons. And I lived in the city for about 2.5 years now, and I have seen them, but obviously been in this area for much longer. But I have seen them walking in my neighborhoods. I'm not saying everyone has, but they are a good resource. However, it also begs the questions, the cops who are not from the city, they also need to be walking the beat, because there's a big disconnect there of, we shouldn't just see you when there's an issue. We shouldn't see you when there's just a call. We need to see you out in the community. I think the National Night Out days that the police do are great ways for kids and community members to see our local police.
There used to be a rule, Cole, that you had to live in the city to be a police officer. And then there was a loophole. They were renting rooms. So they can have a Harrisburg address and then live wherever they want to go live. Mm-hmm. How do you know your community if you ain't walking? If you ain't out there? Susquehanna. I live in Susquehanna Township. And I drive Uber. And I'm all up and down. Boom, 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 boom. And one day I walked to Turkey Hill to get some coffee. And then one cop said, I see you pulling the night shift on that Uber. Now, I don't know him. But he noticed. He's out here driving Uber because he's around all the time. He's in Turkey Hill. I saw the same guy, same shop, you know what I mean? But I understand why suburbians don't walk the beat. That's a lot of walking. But why not somebody just walking down 6th Street, 13th Street, 14th Street? Just walk. Hey, how you doing? What's happening?
Hope you're having a nice day.
Having a nice day.
Yeah. And that
then you can give somebody the benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
But he was being disrespectful to me. With him? Oh no, that's Larry. Larry, no, I know his mom and dad. Come on now. What did he say to you? We need help out here. Julian said, Kenny, I'll have to talk face to face about this subject. All right, Julian. Julian's a good friend of mine. He graduated, I think, a year before me. He was a retired police officer. So yeah, Julian, we'll talk about that, man. I would love to have this conversation with you, man. Because we need our Harrisburg cities to get better. We are losing a lot of students to surrounding school districts.
We're losing students within our school district.
I'm talking about from leaving our district.
Oh, yes.
To go to other
schools.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
And, we know.
Yeah.
He said, much better than zooming around in SUVs like RoboCop. Because they get you. You know what? This is my biggest peeve, and I got to go. My biggest pet peeve is protect and serve. Mm. Protect and serve. So you want people to slow down, don't speed, don't reckless drive. But really, it's just a track because now everybody's cars are pitch black. It used to be blue and white, gray. You could see them a mile away and start slowing down. Mm-hmm. Now everything's black, but they want to catch you. Well, my time is up. Cole, thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
You have been an amazing, amazing, amazing guest.
It has been an absolute honor and pleasure. Thank you.
And you know what I always say. I can't control what happens on the corner of New York, DC, Chicago, or Baltimore. But I can always control what happens right here. Okay, Storm.
Great show. Great show. Great show. Oh man, great show.